There we go. There we go. Now we're fine, right? Hello, welcome to me rating Deltarune Theories. That's right. Yesterday we did another theory, not a theory, a tier list. Both starts with T, so it confuses my brain a little bit. My brain is made of cotton, so that issue just happens a lot, you know? You know how it is. Regardless, this will be pretty exciting. We're gonna be trying to guess what the hell is gonna be happening in Chapter 3, 4, and beyond. But some of this stuff can get really nicely confirmed in just a jiffy, and other stuff, we'll see what time, but it's coming. It's coming. I'm pretty excited for this. I don't really know what to completely envision, of course. I'm pretty nervous for this, I would say, because last stream took a very long time to rate. If you're coming now, be prepared. This will be a long time stream. You might not be here for the whole way through. Let's see if the stream's working. Completely envision, of course. I'm pretty nervous for. Yep. Okay, everything's working. Okay, I'm just testing because it wasn't working a second ago. Alrighty. Now I know it's working. You know what that means? It means we can get to rating. The exciting part. I will note, as intimidating as all of this looks, like look how long this is, some of these, light work. And by that I mean, you just go through them so incredibly fast. It'll be nothing, it's fine. Let me test if I can see the chat before I proceed. Test. And... ooh! I don't think I do. Okay, that's great. Whatever, I can fix that. All these tests and... already. I gotta open my phone instead, my usual setup. I can cope with that. Alrighty, we're here. Did the screen just go away? Why is the screen wipe on my phone? Okay, there we go. Alrighty, enough dilly-daddling. We have been, let's get the rating. Let's figure out what the hell is going on. Alrighty, what are we, I mean, before we go, really, I guess, rating anything here? I'll explain what the hell anything means here. I kind of do expect that I'm repeating this quite a bit. Self-explanatory, the first one. It's canon or just like so mega confirmed, but not read officially that I'm like, well, it might as well be. Now this here, it's not canon, but I completely believe this. I don't think this will be very full. But there's probably something gonna be in here. Invested means there's really high potential, and then you might be like, oh wait, is there not there's potential? Invested really means I would say it differentiates itself with the fact that I see it, I like it, and I think there's a good chance. With there's potential. It's more like these are more like a 60% or something like that, 60-70 here. Like I'm like in 80% on board, you know, something around that. With 50-50, self-explanatory 50-50. Probably not, but cool is I recognize. Yes, it's cool. Probably on the lower echelon, like probably in 30% or so, 20%, maybe even 10. Hopefully not is when I'm just. I'm tapped out. Hashtag nope. That basically is for things that are just absolutely not it. Like, there are things on here that are just goofy. Not a theory. You might be like, wait, why is not a theory on a theory tier list? It says right here, Deltarune Theory, 160 plus theories. What do you mean not a theory, Ruby? You see, there are things on here, as this suggests, that I will not even consider a theory. maybe I'm a hater. But once I fill this in, you can judge me. Like, these are my opinions, but you can have opinions about my opinions. It's cool how that works, doesn't it? I think it's cool how that works. We all have a lot of opinions over here. Now, we explain everything. Let's start. Ask where will we in a dark world? We start very simple, very light. I would say I'm pretty invested in that. There's a lot of potential with that. And with that, I already named like 2 of the tier lists. Tier list. How do you call this? Tier squares. Regardless, I would say I'm invested. I don't 100% believe it. I really wouldn't just put money on this, okay? But like with this, I would almost just put money on it. I almost would just gamble it all away, you know? I don't believe that hard in it, but Torio, I am a big believer that Torio will be in it because, you know, how Chapter 2 ended. It'd be a little weird if Torio wasn't in it. I do expect to see more of Asgore. Asgore is also, like, of all the Undertale main characters, Asgore is not anywhere near as explored as the other main characters. I wouldn't be surprised if Toby further explores him kind of in turn in Deltarune, especially if Torio gets a bit more. Caddy will be in a Dark World. Invested. I really think she will be. A high chance, mainly because it's pretty much confirmed that Jockington is gonna be in a Dark World. Speaking of that, Jockington. Well, we saw a screenshot that says Jockington has grown a beard. Now, technically, Jockington's name has been mentioned before. In Chapter 2 in a Dark World, Jockington's search history. So I could just say, well, it's not canon. Maybe it's just some random firework thingy and it just says it for no reason at all. For, I don't know, probably some reason, but not that he's there. But all things considered, maybe I should just put it here so I don't look like a complete fool if Jockington doesn't appear. But I think it's pretty much confirmed Jockington is in a Dark World. Honestly, I'll put Caddy over here. I 100% believe Caddy will be in there. I said, I wouldn't put money on it. Maybe I would. Maybe I would. Someone gamble with me. Someone in the chat say, no. Someone in the comments say, no, Caddy won't be in the Dark World. We'll bet money on it. I want to actually do it. I also don't endorse gambling. I think I have to say it from YouTube. Probably not. But Pirates will be in a Dark World. I know a lot of people actually don't want Undertale characters, especially the main characters, to have a more prominent role. They want to focus more on new characters. I would say that I wouldn't mind this at all, actually. I wouldn't mind at all that some returning Undertale characters again get some more screen time. That said, do I believe that Papyrus will be in the Dark World? Not really. But I wouldn't be against it. It could even be cool. I love Papyrus. I would say probably not, but cool. I think that's really fair. It wouldn't be my first choice. I'll say that. Like, in all the writing directions you can go, I wouldn't just immediately go and put Papyrus in there. I would certainly... if Toby thinks it works, fair enough, and I can trust Toby with it. But if I weren't trusted with Deltarune, I probably wouldn't. But it would be cool enough. I think it probably could... Oh, shit. It probably could work. Sorry about that. Accidentally tabbed out somehow. The hell, man. Sans will be in a Dark World. It's really hard for me to say that I don't want that because Sans is just such an iconic, fun character. It would be cool. I don't think so. And it would be kind of like... I don't know. I could see really why people would say hopefully not. Like, I really could. It wouldn't be my complete preference that they have big focus, but I think I would say I would think it's neat if they have like a good amount of dialogue, but not necessarily in the dark world, if that makes sense. Like maybe they have like a good chunk in the light worlds is what my preference would be, but in the dark world could be cool enough. I wouldn't want them to have like a super big dark world section, if that makes sense. But that's just me. Alrighty. What else will we do now? This, in a way, is not important. I mean, not a theory, if you think about it. This, I mean, it kinda is. But I want to note, this is pretty much, like, I don't know if I put this in not a theory, because, like, it doesn't really say much of anything. However, I do believe this. Rules is going to be important. Why? Rules keeps following us. Most likely won't even turn to stone because Chris made the Dark Fountain in the room Rules Court was in. So I think Rules Court does have a bit bigger piece to play here. Intros to chapters or flashbacks. If you want to be completely nerd emoji, you could say not a theory, because it's more, in a way, less a theory and more prediction, which sounds like the same. Technically, there's a small differentiation in that. If you do that, though, you're a total nerd emoji. Don't do that. I'll say probably not, but cool. It's fine enough. Fine enough. It's not offensive. I don't think they're all gonna be like that. Memory hats refer to Deltarune. I will note, before I proceed again, because there's so many, I mean, there's 160 theories here. Really get that to your skull. 160, that's quite a lot. I will be more speedy with all of this, because if I don't, I will be here for 3 hours. Last stream took so ridiculously long. It's 2.5 hours. I won't give as much of an explanation as I would like to. I think memory hats, I think it's a big 50-50. I definitely, this could be cool. There is some potential here. It's a very big coin toss to me. And if it's a coin toss, I mean, 50-50 is perfect for that, right? Noelle attacked Darkness at the start. Very fun theory. This would really explain why Queen sees so much potential in Noelle. But and also some of the, like, the things that those little, like, weird socket little monsters are talking about. It sounds like it could be Noelle who did all that damage that's at the start. I really like this. I'm a strong believer in this. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some hints that Noelle did that at the start. Noelle created Spamton. That's a hashtag no, but I'm pretty sure that's been deconfirmed. Noelle did not create Spamton, the spam email, no. Noelle killed Das, and this is made by Bandit Games. Let me think back on that theory. Some of this stuff has, some of these theories have long videos accompanied with them. However, they aren't exact. It doesn't really sometimes do justice in the tiny little box. I'll just go with the order reliable, probably not, but cool. I don't think so, really. I really don't. But I don't completely disbelieve to the point I would put it in hashtag nope. Oh my god, what the hell is this again? Okay, I'll put this way further down. Just so my mind hopefully refreshes. Player will leave Chris / become Vessel. So something I want to talk about is we need to keep in mind that originally Deltarune was going to be split in Chapter 1, and then Chapter 2 would come out, and then 3, 4, 5. All of that would bam, 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 bam come out, right? And if you think about story pacing, you feel like Chapter 5 would end in such a big bang that Chapter 6 and 7, when whatever revelation happens in Chapter 5, it wouldn't be the same anymore, right? So all things considered, in my head, for the longest time, I thought that the Vessel would maybe be the new protagonist or something like that. Like, the Vessel would leave, the heart would leave Chris's body and go into the Vessel or something like that. The end of Chapter 5 and then Chapter 6 he plays the Vessel. I don't believe this really right now, necessarily. Like, at least to that degree, but I do want to point out the chapter pacings that Chapter 5, something extremely crazy probably would happen. I think there is some potential here. And I don't really imagine that Chris will possess the player the whole game. I would say this is more than a 50-50. I think there really is potential with this. So this will be the first one that goes into the appropriate category of there is potential. Alright, let me adjust my microphone just a little bit. I'm Alrighty, hopefully this will be a little better. Let's see. Rousey cares about player, not Chris. It feels a little hard for me to do this because someone else's name is literally attached to this. It's not like sort of community-wide thing, right? Like when something is like Alvin is Night, that's like a community-wide thing. Like a lot of people have that. This has someone's name stamped on it. Dork made this theory. Personally, I don't think this theory is bad. I don't hope it happens though, so put it hopefully not. There might be a cool way to do it. I won't completely discredit it. I won't just discredit like all of this. And like I said, I think this is not even I don't think this is like a ridiculous, laughable theory. No hate to Dork. Personally, I don't hope the story goes this direction. So, just want to give that out here, okay? Just in case. Alrighty, Rouse is a crush on player. This is kinda the same thing, except we crank it to 11. Not completely. This still enables Rousey to still care about Chris. But that Rousey just likes the player, but not just a little bit. A lot. I think it could be really interesting that someone is aware of the player and even like has a crush on them. Doki Doki, for example, did that pretty well. However, that's Doki Doki. This is Deltarune. So, is this fitting and good for Deltarune is the question? I think I'll reluctantly put this in hopefully not. Honestly, I wouldn't be too crazy against it, despite putting it in hopefully not, but I also wouldn't say probably not, but cool. Maybe I should have had a different tier. That's just probably not, period, without the but cool parts. mean, I guess I could do hashtag no. Rousey as a shadow crystal. What do we think? What do we think? I don't think that's ridiculous. So kind of like a little things. Maybe I should have like an extra tier over here somewhere. You know what? Yeah. Let's make another tier. That's just very unlikely. Let's make it look doubt.jpg. There we go. Because I would doubt.jpg that. Oh shit. It's not out of the question. But yeah, and I doubt. I doubt it. I don't dislike it this much. I think it's just so heartbreaking that Rousey would not care about the player. I mean, Chris. And I also think that would take Rousey in a route that I don't want Rousey to go into. It probably would lean Rousey more into the Rousey is evil, and I'm not here for that. Chess theory. I love chess theory. I'm big on chess theory. It basically refers to the bosses. For example, king is a chess piece, but also character. And the king only starts really moving in chess once they are checkmated. And king only starts to move in chapter 1 once the protagonist confronts them. But a queen in chess, the queen just moves everywhere. The queen just does whatever she wants. And in chapter 2, the queen just also does whatever she wants. I'm into this. I am into it. I'm a believer. I'll put it in. I 100% believe this. Something I had in mind for a long time eventually will go to the pawn. And I wouldn't be surprised if, like, in the last chapter, it will be about pawn promotion. So that could tie into the whole, the vessel leaves Chris, for example. Rousey is evil. That's hopefully not, technically. But I'd say hashtag nope. No. Sorry, guys. I know some of you are really subscribed to this theory. I know some of you really are big believers in the evil Rousey. I am not. I really am not. So, that's me just putting myself on the table over there. I don't think that would work. I think that would kill some of the motion of the story. But that's just me. Am I gonna say that's just me every time I rank something low? Speaking of ranking things low, Rousey is girl. That is not a theory. This is a cope because you are into a man. I just want to clarify that. If you are highly attracted to Rousey, or something like that, and you're a man, that's okay. It's okay to like guys. This mostly is people who are straight guys who don't really like that they liked a guy. And yeah, that sometimes you just like a guy. That's okay, guys. Everyone, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. If you like kissing guys, go ahead. Here's a safe space for that. You can mooch on a guy. We support that here. Alrighty. What's next? Rousey is trans femme. This is not a cope like this. This is more a headcanon. Some trans femme people see themselves in Rousey. And the people who are like Rousey's girl, it's not like girls being like, oh my god, Rousey's just like me for a big part. It's really, what I've seen is just guys who were into a guy and they hate it. So, but regardless, This is not a theory. Rousey is non-binary. Hat cannon. This is not a theory, guys. Rousey is Chris's true soul. Oh god, I need to get through this. There's so much left. Okay, I need to pick up the pace. I need to pick this up. It's 20 minutes and I already done anything. Doubt. I don't have much to say about this. Like, what do you want me to say? Rousey is Red Horn's headband. Oh yeah, the one that Chris lost. I'm not going to be as bold to say canon. There are definitely some other good theories about this. That said, so logically it goes here. It goes in 100% believe this. I would be unfair if I said, oh, that's canon. I feel that would be unfair. Rousey is working with I was gonna say gangster. Gaster the gangster, what the hell? What? Where did that come from? Working with. I mean, in my head, I would say I feel that Rousey is got mentored by Gaster, most likely, to some extent. I know recently someone uploaded a cool video with like Rousey's missing father figure. I think that touched a bit upon it. But working with, like, it kind of refers to almost like active cooperation. I'm not sure about that. That might be a bit much. I think I'll do it in 50-50. Rousey theory. What is that again? Wait, let me look up the video real quick on my phone. If I see the thumbnail, I might remember Rousey theory. Oh, that probably won't show up any results, huh? Wait, there's a name there. Daisy knows. Daisy knows. Did I watch your video, Daisy knows? Okay, first we go to Sans is Darkner. No, I mean, I feel like it'd be more reasonable to maybe theorize Papyrus as a Darkner, but I don't see how would Sans be a Darkner? To me, this is a straight up hashtag nope. Okay, let me look at this theory a bit here. I can't really see it. Oh well. Let's see if someone said anything in chat. Don't know if anyone's really... I think most people are lurkers, which is fine, by the way. Feel free to lurk. Alrighty, yeah. Cool. What the hell just happened? Yeah, I don't know what Rousey's theory is until my head anymore. I see that I watched it, but... yeah. We are gonna go just put this at the bottom and maybe we'll get back to it later. So last stream, I pronounced it Kara, and I said it's compromised to stream I would pronounce it as Chara. So I'll keep up my word. Chara. Chris is Deltarune Chara. I mean, what does that mean? Does that mean as in like they're parallels of each other? If so, we can talk. If you mean Chris is literally Chara, no. Then no. because I don't fully know what it means, if we mean parallels of Chara, I would definitely say there's potential. Good chance. Deltarune is the parallel story of Undertale, right? Rousey is the parallel of Flowey the Flower. Chris is actually the only character that doesn't really have any parallel at all. But Chara and Frisk would be the biggest contenders for that, for Chris. So yeah, all in all, I will just go to doubt. Because I don't know what they're talking about. Like, it literally is in there's potential if we're talking about it one way, if it's hashtag nope if we're talking another way. Like, it's not literally Chara. Secret boss is 7 deadly sins. Probably not, but it would be cool. I mean, yeah, Spamton would be greed. Jevil would be pride? See, the whole thing with 7 deadly sins often is representing lust would be hell. Like, I know you could technically kind of do it, but I wouldn't even wanna. Spamton is Undertale wrong number caller. Maybe. I kind of doubt it, but meh. I wouldn't be too crazy shocked if Rousey was the final boss. Yeah, definitely not too crazy shocked. Like, I think I would give it like a 40-35% chance, which that sounds maybe low. It's a good chance. That is a good chance. I mean, if you do a coin toss, more often than not, you hit it. Hello, party people. See people chit-chatting. Quick question. Does anyone remember what Rousey theory is? Where is it? That was a theory. I watched it, but I forgot. Like, yeah, this theory from Daisy Rose. No, Daisy knows. Forgive me, I'm legally blind. Sometimes I don't read things well. My eyes don't really work. Susie is from a human community. I doubt it. I really doubt it. I feel like there will be much more of a fuss about that. I feel like there will be at least some more Susie. There will be some Susie lines that already pointed at. It's literally called a Rousey theory on here. Where is it? Just add it. But it's by Daisy Knows. Yeah, here. It says Rousey theory, you see? Rousey theory. The video is called I Think I Know What Rousey Is. It was uploaded like 2-3 years ago. Thought I would ask, seeing as you guys are here. I will go ahead and put Susie had a bad home life in. I'm gonna be bold here. I'm gonna be really bold here. I feel like that's basically canon. I wouldn't say it's canon, but I always put basically canon here. Yeah, there are 160 theories here. Like, sometimes you just don't know one. That happens. But the Susie home life thing with just how she acts, and also Susie's dark road room with like with some if you look in her fridge, she has like breadcrumbs that were like in a toaster for a while and things like that. It just sounds like that's how she eats things, and how she eats chalk. That is, people in real life do stuff like that when they don't get fed at home. So I really feel this so highly confirmed to some extent. Susie is half human. Does anyone know what Susie is as a monster? I love how people talk about so many different things. Some people are like, yeah, she's a dinosaur. Other people had way different things. They're more like, well, more like a reptile-ish thing, which some people are like, reptiles and dinosaurs are like the same thing. Which, I mean, they're kind of from the same ancestors in a way. It gets complicated. One thing that's funny about Susie, though, her design, if you're drawing Susie, you draw her hat as a sock. As a sock. I'm not joking. That's how you draw her face. Like, it might sound stupid, but her face is shaped like a sock. Like, you put your hand in a sock, and it would look like Susie. I think it's kind of funny. Half human Susie. I really doubt it. I wouldn't put in the hashtag nope, and it's not like, oh no, that would be terrible, but I doubt it a lot. Susie resist player. I'm invested in this. And then this is more credible with the trailer too, with how we see that music mini game, and it seems like we can't do anything with Susie. I'm a believer. Oh no. Don't murder me, please. Torio is homophobic. I made one little jokey remark about this in one of my videos. This immediately caused a reaction from some people when I made this remark. It was said in a joking way. I don't believe it. I think it's a funny theory, and I even can congratulate the theory creator for being intuitive enough to think of this. But I really think this is a hashtag nope. True, we haven't even heard of... You would think we've heard of them by now. Now I'm trying to get, like, rack my brain with, like, what have we heard of? You'd think we've heard of it by now, huh? Yes, all of us are full monsters except Susie, and we never talk about half monster, half human. Never. That would be a little strange. Torio kills Undyne in Chapter 3. Interesting. Most evidence for the Torio's homophobic stuff is that Torio blocked Undyne and Alphys from kissing in front of Frisk, and also how Torio pushes more gender stereotypical norms on her children. It seems like Torio has boys, I think, was it hairspray or something like that, in a cupboard in the bathroom. And we also see that, Torio's religion, that, for example, there were monsters holding hands in the picture, and Torio most likely edited that it's no longer like that. Dialogue says, you wonder if your mother did that. So it has to do with her behavior in Undertale, and also her religiousness. There's also a bit more to it. There's also, like, an idea with this Torio's homophobic theory, that Undertale is canon in Deltarune by the fact that Undertale is a game created by Asriel. So there is quite a lot of creativity in this theory. The evidence, however, is not the strongest. But the creativity is absolutely there. This is not something... That video, I would definitely look it up just for, like, the jumps that are made. And it sounds really negative, the jumps, but I think it's really... You do need to, like, an imaginative mind to get there, and I can compliment that. I know, again, a lot of people get angry at this theory. I don't really get angry at that. I don't believe it, but... It's just interesting people come to that. Oh, yes, this. Torio kills Undyne. Yeah, also about that. I really thought it could be... People have been like, oh, I don't want another Snowgrave route, another weird route. And yeah, if you just keep manipulating someone like Noelle, if you just manipulate your mother and then, I don't know, Caddy, then Jockeyton, yeah, that would maybe grow old or be like, oh, we're just doing that again. I could see, I'm not saying this will happen, I don't think this is very likely at all, but I could see, imagine that Torio and Chris are in the Dark World, and if you purposely, if Chris gets to 0 HP, instead of Chris falling down, then Toru insta-kills them with, like, Fire Grave or something like that. And then the weird route in Chapter 3 would be just constantly getting Chris hurt to the point that Toru burns all the enemies alive. I don't think that would happen, but that is a pretty cool vision. No, I do think it was that. There's other stuff that Toru, for example, doesn't want to do in front of children. Toru is someone that likes to curse a little bit, but Toru doesn't want to curse in front of kids, so there is that. I'm glad you see that. I absolutely wouldn't knock Toru kills Undyne. There's a real chance there. I would put this really at the front of probably not, but cool. Like, yes, I'll put it in the low percentages. I wouldn't give it a 50-50. But it just kind of makes sense. I mean, you say yourself, fire and water. And then it's a perfect combination. Yeah, some people have had the thought that we would just kind of do it with Noelle, and I would find it a bit of a bummer too. I think there's much more you could do with this kind of stuff. Some people think that we won't have any more weird routes at all, and to me, that sounds just a little strange. Like, we'd have Chapter 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no weird routes, but Chapter 2, just one weird route, just like that. I would absolutely think there's going to be a bit more with that. And I also can't see that we just continuously torment the same person over and over and over. Undyne will be in Chapter 3. Very likely. I think Undyne has a slightly lesser chance to appear in Chapter 3 than Napstablook, but all things considered, with the police being called, high chance. Straight up, there's potential. Speaking of Napstablook, this is pretty much already confirmed. With some of the music we heard on Toby Fox's Blue Sky, we literally heard Napstablook's theme, but remixed somewhat. So this is pretty much confirmed. Despite that, I could put this baby in canon, basically canon, I would just put it in 100% believe this. I do lean a bit against Undyne being here. Like, I wouldn't give it, like, I always thought that Napstablook would come in. I had even, like, a video where I said, like, oh yeah, I think Napstablook will come, but Undyne won't. There's a good chance Undyne will, but Napstablook I would give, like, a 99%, and Undyne, like, a 70%. Yeah, I really think that. I think because Chapter 3 has a bit of a family team with, you know, the whole Dreamer situation, Napstablook has several cousins, and Undyne doesn't really have a family that's ever mentioned. Now, this could be the chapter, for example, that Undyne does talk about her family, but oh no, Napstablook having cousins perfectly fits in a family team. So that's why I do imagine that Napstablook would appear. And hell, it's also, there's a TV team with that. Metaton, of course, is a TV star. I'm not really sure, on top of my head, how that's in Deltarune, but all things considered, Napstablook already has several ties to that, to family and the whole and the whole TV thing, and Undyne doesn't. I see your point, though. I think there's a good enough chance there. Yeah, they wouldn't come, but I do imagine that Napstablook would reflect on that, and maybe if Metaton gets on TV, maybe in a weird roundabout way, Metaton still kind of appears. Okay, that sounds crazy, but hear me out. The TV is literally on, so we know that the weathers, the two weather people basically are coming in, right? And that's probably because the Weather Channel. If Metaton is actually on TV, some manifestation of Metaton could appear in the Dark Worlds. So maybe not exactly Metaton, but at least some sort of something that Napsu could probably recognize, being like, oh, that's just like Metaton. Yeah, so all things considered, with the family team, that really pushes me to believe that Napsu will be in there. Even if the other, if Napsu's other cousins doesn't necessarily show up. Maybe Napsu will just give a little bit of wisdom about what it's like to have a family. Chris is Deltarune Frisk. See, this is a little unfortunate. It is the same as Chris Deltarune, oh god. Oh god. So, yesterday there was a whole discussion if it's Chara or Kara, and you have a pro picture of them. So I'm horrified to say the name. Last stream I said Kara, and I compromised that this next stream I would say Chara. I wonder what side of the debate you are in this. Regardless, with this little prompt here, the question is, when they ask this, do they mean, oh, they are literally them, or do they mean they parallel each other? So that is the question here. If literally them, absolutely not. If they parallel each other, highly likely. So that is a little confusing. Interesting, interesting. Duly noted. We actually, I didn't even notice for a long time. I felt a little embarrassed. But apparently you do kind of meet Metaton in Deltarune, but they're like behind a door. Metaton and Mad Mew Mew are in some houses in Hometown. You don't physically see them, but from the dialogue you know it's them. And Metaton says, "Oh yeah, come back tomorrow. We can talk about entertainment." So maybe Metaton at least is somewhat... I'm not sure if Metaton has TV experience, but Metaton is at least interested in it. For this prompt, I'll put it kind of next to the doubt.jpg because it just depends on what they mean. If it's Chris is a parallel to Frisk, sure. Potential even. Literally, absolutely not, so halfway. Weird route with Torio in Chapter 3. Ooh, talked about that. All things considered, I actually don't think it's gonna happen. But I'll be all here for it. I will be completely here for it. This will be so cool. I don't think it's a 50-50. I actually think Chapter 4 is gonna be more the weird routes. Interesting. Yeah, like, it just would make sense, because Chris is, like, the only character that doesn't have any kind of parallel, and then you would look at Frisk and Kara. And I feel like there's plenty of stuff that does link Chris to them. Definitely loving the weird routes. I'll put it here. Looks a little funny right next to each other, but I do think that Chris reflects both of them. To some extent. That's such a beautiful thing about different routes. It really can just... It adds so many extra layers. Like, imagine if Undertale only had the pacifist route. It would still be an amazing game, but some of the layers that Undertale has, you can only get by seeing those other routes. Because of course it gives the characters to be a chance to be in a different light, in a different scenario. And then they act different, and then they do something that you wouldn't have ever thought they'd be capable of otherwise. I'll go a little controversial here. Undertale Sans is from Deltarune. This is a mixed bag for a lot of people. I gotta say, I'm invested. I think there's a very high chance. I mean, there's so much stuff to this. There's the whole Sans lab that has some sort of unknown machine. The words "Don't Forget" is written on one picture with 3 people. That could be Rousey, Susie, and Chris. There is also the fact you only can access this after you interact with a goner also really connects it nicely with this. So I really think that Sans has some sort of Undertale Sans from Deltarune. It's a bit controversial, but to me, all those things that I just listed about that lab with that broken machine, with the Don't Forget, with talking to the goner, and the goner mentions a Susie that is differently spelled. Oh damn, we're in the same wavelength. All that just wouldn't be for no reason. Like, it's not just there for the laws. There is some purpose for that, and I can't think of a purpose besides this right here. If there's another purpose, I don't know what it is. The only thing that literally makes sense to me is this right here. I wouldn't put my life on it. I wouldn't say, oh yeah, I 100% believe that. Completely. No, I wouldn't do that. But I'll put a high percentage on it. Absolutely. Sans's brother isn't Papyrus in Deltarune. Interesting. I don't think so. But interesting nonetheless. I don't think so though. I don't. I think even like the Deltarune Steam page talks about Papyrus. So that already also makes it a little... I know that's maybe like outside information, but still. That is literally what I sometimes think about. When I think about the ending of the game, I literally think about maybe we'll get to the moment where the picture gets taken. That seems like it would just be so beautiful. Like after all those years, we just literally see it live in action. Oh look, they misspelled Rousey over here. Rousley. Soul isn't player. This can sound insane to so many people. You technically could say that maybe the soul is the angel, and that's not necessarily a reflection of the player. That said, I do think the soul is the player, so I'll put it on a doubt for now. Now, Sarah mentioned that Rousey could be a final boss. I don't think that's completely insane. I'm not a big believer in it, though. It would be kind of cool. And I can see that there is a good chance that maybe we have to go against Rousey. That we have to go maybe against the Prophecy, or who knows what. That said, though, to me, in my heart, I am not a believer in the Rousey's evil thing. I put Rousey's evil here in nope. I think if we're going against Rousey, I feel like things would just be... I think we'll be in the wrong if we're going against Rousey, basically, is what I'm saying. I think Rousey's good, and if we're against Rousey, I think we're the ones going in the wrong. That U to me is so telling. That's us! I mean, I guess you could say that we're the angel and not some sort of higher entity controlling a computer game, but still. How much do I give this? I'll put this on the leader of doubt. Ooh, true. I didn't consider that. Rousey could definitely be doing that. I mean, Rousey's having all sorts of secret conversations with Chris, so Rousey could be concocting a very big plan to, like, free Chris or whatever, so Rousey probably wants us, the player, away, so... Okay. Yeah, I will keep this at the leader of doubt.jpg, but... Chris is a vessel. I kinda doubt it, but not too much. I never heard too many strong arguments for this, but there are also not necessarily many arguments against this. I'll go with probably not, but cool. Like, it is a cool idea. It makes some kind of sense. I mean, we see how humans were created. I mean, maybe not humans, but the vessel had a human-like body, so maybe that is how every human gets created. I don't know. There is a book with other humans. No, we don't really know that. The vessel is just discarded, and so far we don't really see anything back from the vessel. Unless if we really get more info on what the vessel is, then I think this is... we're not gonna learn more about this. Yeah, I don't think we just have much to go on with Chris as a vessel. Like, it's a thought, but there's not much that connects it to evidence. Yeah, that could literally be the only vessel for all we know. There are some parallels to the vessel to some parts. Like, there is the whole angel plushie in the hospital, for example. Some stuff with Spamton kind of has some sort of mirrors of the vessel, but not much really concrete with that specific vessel, or if there are other vessels, or that... just... it's vague. It's really vague. Vessels do seem to have a connection with goners, but how much do we even know about goners? Some stuff, but not too much. Inconclusive, all in all. True name is Terra. Okay, yeah, the Terra theory is pretty interesting. I do like what's popping there. So, I remember, basically, Frisk is meant to be a good entity that has a power to save a singular target. And then Kara would be an evil entity that has the power to erase the game wide. Because at the end of the genocide route, you would, like, erase the world, right? So the theory is that Chris is evil and is the opposite of Chris, where Frisk can save a single target, like Frisk can save people at the end of the pacifist run. And then Chris would then have the opportunity to delete single targets, and then Chris would be the source of the goners. Now Terra would be the parallel in a way of Kara, but Terra would be good, and instead of having the power to erase the game, Terra would have the power to restore a game. And this right here could explain why Deltarune might have one ending. Because Terra does something with the game that, regardless of choice, you reach a certain ending. So that's what Terra's meant to be. Terra's meant to be another human, but instead of Kara's ability to destroy a file, destroy a world, they can restore it. So it's pretty interesting. There is true name in here written too, and that's because in the game files, in Undertale, it says something like, Frisk is labeled as main character, or something like that. Kara is labeled as true character. And Chris in Deltarune is labeled as main character. So, some people are wondering, does that imply that there is a true character that's coming up? And the theory would be, Terra would be the true character. Oh no, I love the thinking here. There are a lot of strings here, and I think it's creative, and I like how it ties up. That said, the strongest evidence for this really is that Chris in the game files is labeled as main character, just like Frisk was, when there's later a true character that pops up in the game. Besides this, we don't have much evidence. So I feel like I can't just rate this very high, right? That said, I feel like this is very compelling, and it makes sense enough, yeah. I don't think this is crazy. I think this is a good 50-50. I wouldn't be shocked if there's something like this. I like it enough. oh god. Alright, rest in peace. Some people had their hearts ripped out. I have some people who I've talked to. They are so invested in this. They had written very long documents explaining this. About this final boss team. But a recent interview heavily implies that this will not be the case. But some people still have hope. Some people are so devastated right now. They don't know what to do. They wrote 50-page documents about how this is going to happen, this final boss team. And now this interview came out that implies that maybe it won't. I don't know all the merits of this. But basically, this was supposed to be a Homestuck, something that played at the end of Homestuck, or something like that. And I think Toby made the song, but recently they said that Homestuck things and other Homestuck-like songs that are mainly Homestuck won't be in Deltarune. That it really will just be its own soundtrack, and that would imply, seeing as this is a Homestuck soundtrack, that this will not be in the game. I think there's a lot of fan-made stuff with this later on, yeah, but it's mainly derived from Homestuck stuff. Because Toby folks did work on Homestuck. And a lot of them, apparently some of the tweets that Toby made would connect well with this theme song. So people were like, oh, because these tweets that Toby made, this song will be the end of the game. I don't think so either. I really don't think so either. The conviction I've seen people have. There's someone that I know they watch my streams, so they're crying at this part right now. I'm sorry if you're watching. I'm sorry if you're watching later. This is a hashtag nope. Toby had this in for a long time, and we might get conned for this. One day, this might actually be the final boss theme, and they'll say, I told you so, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Now, the only reason why this could still be possible is because, yes, this was a Homestuck team, but it got scrapped. So, it's not officially in Homestuck. So you could argue it could still happen, but still, really doubt it. Toby's been thinking about this for so long. He had all of this in mind for so long, so to just go like, oh, I'll just do the team from like this other thing I worked on, doubtful. Megalovania will be in Deltarune. Ooh. I know some people really don't want this. Some people would be like, no, that needs to be its own special thing. I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against it at all. That said, though, is it gonna be in the game? If it gets in the game, I don't think it will be a complete copy-paste, you know? I think it would be somewhat remixed. Like, we heard something that sounds like a Napstablook team, right? That's why I put Napstablook pretty high here. If we get anything like Megalovania, it would at least be somewhat remixed. It would be somewhat altered. It wouldn't just really be, oh, I'm dragging this Megalovania right to Deltarune. It would be sick. It would be a hype moment. I mean, how can you not be hyped for Megalovania? This is hard. 50-50 probably is pretty appropriate. I'm noticing most stuff I put on the lower tier list so far. Okay, we've actually worked through this quite a bit. How long has this been going on? For an hour, nice. Yeah! We're on the same wavelength with this so far. I love it. Megalo Strike Back will be in Deltarune. Let's see. Ah, that's Earthbound stuff. Interesting. Hello, Kazi! Just had to look up a little, I had to look up what this was. A lot of people have this as a Kara fight team. I don't feel qualified to really give my opinion on this one. I will just put this in... But maybe I just need to listen to like a tiny second to this and then I'll remember. Wait, the one... Oh, that! Oh my... How did that slip my memory? Okay, okay. Now, the chances go up. I was like, what the hell is this? No, I remember. Okay, there's so much to remember with this damn franchise that you just... Something need a refresher. This actually can go in... 50-50 or probably not, but cool. I wouldn't give it a super high chance. I could see it maybe in some sort of really intense Chris moment though, huh? Yeah, that could work. When I think about an intense Chris moment, I could see the kind of playing at the end of the game. Yeah, why not? Deltarune will have 10 chapters. Oh, this is actually a lesser known fact about the game, even for people who are really invested in the fandom. But essentially, in the Deltarune's files, there are animations for chapter 8, 9, 10, and 0. Like, it straight up just says chapter 10 in an animation, and chapter 0 in an animation. And some people said, oh, well, that is just to, like, do some testing, and this is common practice, yes, but only for how many digits you go. So if you only have one digit of how far you go, so you say you have 2 digits here. So to some people, that means, oh, it's pretty likely we actually get 10 chapters. Regardless, this feels a bit of a... I don't know, doesn't that sound a little weird? Like, 7 chapters have been advertised for all these years, and then suddenly, boop guys, there's 3 extra chapters. Complete surprise! I didn't tell you guys, but here you go. 3 extra chapters. Oh no! I doubt it? I'm kind of shocked I'm not putting this in hashtag nope. There's no way I'll put this in hopefully not, because it would be cool to have more content. Oh yeah, Sans could be a bit of a salesman. He could be all sleazy. 7 does fit with the team. 7, not with the souls, with also the religious team, with, you know, how God created the world in 7 days. And I think there are way more 7 numbers that are part of this. So to suddenly add an extra 3. And and 10 is also a bit of a weird number in the sense that besides 7, 9 is also a very prominent number, mainly with Kara. But 9 has been a pretty big number too in this franchise. So it's kind of weird that we go skip 7, and then we go skip 9, just to go with 10. Des is in the bunker. Good chance, good chance. I will say the bunker is very loudly screaming, something very big and important is in here. Like, seriously. How do you see that bunker and not think, wow, this must be very important? The bunker is screaming it! Let's see. Yep, it's here, I think. Secret boss is different soul mode. I'm quite a believer in this one. I'm also a believer in Des in the bunker. I think there's good chance there. I would say even higher than 50-50. I think there is straight up proper potential with this. Oh yeah. Bunker. I know most people have it at chapter 7, but I think chapter 5, 6 can also be very possible. Completely, Kazi, completely. I very much think that. I don't think Des is... Well, Des isn't just randomly dead in the forest somewhere. Des is definitely somewhere roaming in a dark road, or... If Des is dead, Des would be dead, like, as a Gaster experiment. I don't know, Pals of Des or something like that. If you know that theory, you can chuckle now. If not, I sound a little insane. But the whole find me stuff, find her, it all sounds very... I mean, she's clearly findable. Maybe not alive, but I hope we find Des alive. It would be so sad if Des is just dead all along. I wonder if we really would just find, like, a monster's remains or something like that in this type of game. Which would probably be just dust. Yeah, I think Deltarune is also dust. I think they said something about... Did they? Yeah, I think they did. Because in Deltarune they do say they don't really do magic, that there's no magic. So it's also like, but do they also turn into dust when they die? And I think they do. Regardless, Gaster in the bunker for the next one. I put that actually pretty much with Des in the bunker. Like, I think they're both in there. There's a good chance for that. That will be very dark. Go on the cemetery. I wouldn't put it past that we, like, get a dark room in the cemetery. I actually think there's a good chance that maybe it'll be raining. Then it will be, like, this whole tent around the cemetery. And then the knights or someone else creates a dark world in the tent, so the dark world doesn't link to the entirety of Hometown. It will be constrained to the tent, but it would be a cemetery team. I definitely think that's very possible. Oh my god. Yeah, that would be wild. There is some stuff where sometimes you have heard of, like, a real case where a mother, like, poisons her own child so she doesn't go out. If Mayor Holiday does that, we're all knocking down her door. But hey, at least she'll be alive. We do want her alive. But Gaster probably has her. Or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. I think there's actually a good possibility. I haven't seen others talk about this. I think Gaster could be a parallel to what Alphys does in Undertale. And by that I mean that Gaster is trying to revive monsters instead of Alphys. And then maybe Gaster is trying to do something that brings deaths back from being unconscious, being in a coma, being fallen down. I think there's a real chance for that, because we do need to remember, this game has so many parallels already to Undertale, and literally says Undertale's parallel story. So if there's a parallel to that, to the whole scientists trying to save fallen down monsters, I wouldn't be too shocked. Politics theory! Alright, we were just talking about the mayor, and now we get deep into politics. So for those who don't know, politics theory is that every secret boss will have some sort of political team. For example, Jevil is anarchy, Spamton is capitalism, and then we have something that represents communism, we have something that represents fascism, something that represents socialism, and we just go on and go on and go on. I don't think so. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here. I think it's unlikely. I 100% think he also will appear. I am actually kind of shocked that some people think, oh, all the Gaster stuff, yeah, that's Tricky Tony. That's just playing a goof, you know? Tricky Tony he's pranking us. It's all that build up for nothing. It's just there. It's just doing something. Just to confuse you. Like, no, Gaster is gonna be here in some way. Gaster's absolutely doing something. Me neither. I don't really believe in politics theory. It's a neat enough thought, but no. Oh my god, we have another Jevil lover. I'm also a Jevil lover. I love that stupid fat clown. The thing is, with having two bosses, there is so little to build a proper pattern on. Like, yeah, so far you could say politics theory worked with the anarchy capitalist thing, but this is something I expect politics theory to die when chapter 3 and 4 come out. When those chapters are out, I expect this to just completely just be in the hashtag no. I'll put it in the doubt at the very bottom for now. Oh, damn. Deltarune will have one ending. Oh, we're getting into nitty-gritty now. You guys see all this rope like this person is the knight? We're gonna have a very nice outing in a second. Alrighty, God, I have a little thoughts on this. I do note that the one ending ... question mark on the Deltarune Steam page. First of all, it has a question mark. Second of all, you could make an argument that was more for the chapter 1 description, but it's still there for like the full game stuff. So yeah, and there's also Toby in an interview did say something like there's something more important than reaching an ending, and that would be, of course, the destination. So there might be some sort of slight differences depending on how pacifistic you were in Dark Roads, if you did the weird routes. But the ending is probably similar or the same. I like what you guys are thinking in there. Yeah, I can see that a bit. One thing that is very hard to really get behind so far is the whole, whatchamacallit, the save things. Save points. Chris has auto save points, and it's just like, so Chris is, there's clearly some more stuff going on that we're not seeing behind the screen. So it's like, Gash are doing something with Chris? Is Chris just doing something alone? What's popping Chris? I'll be very happy to see more than one ending. I will note, one thing that really is a struggle with me with this Deltarune with one ending. Undertale has like 50 endings, and there are so many tiny little variations too, like whether you took your bandage off, or whether you saved, or if you made a certain snowman very happy. Like, all in all, I think there are like something like 50 like main endings or something like that, and then there are even like 8 extra dialogue thingies too, as little flavor things depending on what you did. Huh. I gotta say, Casey, I never thought of that, about the whole, oh right, no one else changes their soul, huh. I suppose something that I would say as an answer, my theory in a way is that the red soul is everything. And by that I mean, a lot of people say the red soul is determination, but there actually is an argument that you can say that the red soul isn't necessarily that. There is that whole ball game section in Undertale, and it never mentions determination. It does say, after you use 6 of the souls, 6 traits, you manage to beat the ball game, and it says ball game in red. So that could imply that having the red soul is all the other traits combined. It means you have perseverance, justice, kindness, oh no, integrity. Okay, just gotta make sure. Justice! Did I already say justice? If I don't name all the soul traits, I look like a fake fan. Bravery! I didn't name bravery. Don't come for me. The whole, because we are the soul, they don't change anything, fits really well with the current team right now. But Sean is a very big nothing matters shrug character. By the way, can I say, I love how the nothing matters thing, Jevil thinks nothing matters, and Jevil loves it. Sean thinks nothing matters, and it just has apathy towards it. And Spamton thinks nothing matters, in a way, and Spamton loses his mind. No! I'm a fake fan. Interesting. Yeah, that could be part of determination. I mean, if determination can literally rewind time, then who's to say that determination can't just change like that? Change your whole soul. Why not? Why not the red soul? Regardless, in a way, I could put this in hopefully not. This Deltarune will have one ending slot. Because I would hope it has more endings. I want to see a lot of this game. Long live kindness indeed. But, I think this is just a very clear 50-50. Like, I really don't know what to say to this. Like, I feel like there's so much that I'm like, yeah, it probably have one ending. But I also have things I'm like, no, what? One ending? No way. I definitely have a preference for more endings than one. Ooh, Chris is dead. Oh, rest in peace. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I love the Justice Soul. Perseverance is cool, though. I mean, Perseverance is just determination, but a different word for it. It's a synonym. Music helps with the thinking. I cannot do this all in silence. Alrighty, so yeah, Chris is dead. I think there's a good chance that Chris is dead or has died, but I think there's also, along with that, a chance that Chris might be possessed because Chris's soul died, but Chris got another soul transplanted into them. That's what I think. And that would explain why Chris is controlled, but and why Chris can't just permanently detach the soul forever, because Chris would die if they never put it back. Also, certain things that Chris says in dialogues, if you make Chris act, reference things that sound deadly about going out in on the ice. And I think maybe even one that's talked about falling through ice. I don't know if that one's true. I think there's a good chance for Chris is dead. There's also that Chris has been referred to zombie by Susie. Some people point that Chris is blue, and that also fit in with the whole drowning in a pool of water stuff, because the big theory is that Chris went on some ice, it broke, and then Chris just couldn't get up and just drowned. Oh, that would be insane if that happened. Personally, I will go with, I think this is a good 50-50. I mean, it's definitely a direction it would go, the story could go into. But yeah, I would clarify the whole Chris's soul would be, like, basically destroyed. Onion son. Oh, why did that stupid Onion not rescue Chris from drowning? Unbelievable. Oh, now we have the opposite. Deltarune who have multiple endings. I mean, I put one ending in 50-50, so logically speaking, I put multiple endings also in 50-50. Like, I'm not gonna fit where the stance much in this. I really don't know. I have no idea. Yes, I already said my piece with this. I hope there's more, but I think there's a good chance there won't be. And we will continue with this trend, because now we got choice theory. I'm actually gonna really quickly look at... Okay, yeah. I've seen choice theory. I remember that video. So choice theory essentially is... honestly, a little bit what I said. It basically says that choices to some extent don't matter, but what matters is the route you take. So it says one ending question mark, because there might be some slight differences depending on what you did, but it will basically be the same ending. So this basically is... would fit in with this too. This is basically just saying choice theory basically says one ending, but it expands upon it for a big part. So technically a little redundant to just have choice theory and we'll have one ending all in one. I think choice theory always talks a bit about what it'd be like to have multiple endings, but it says like, but I think it's like, oh no, but probably not. So that's why I do go with the whole one ending interpretation of that video. It was a good video, by the way. What's anagram theory? Anagram theory Deltarune. Oh, I hope we can see a real conversation between Chris and Susie. They deserve to talk to each other. Alrighty, I had an ending idea, by the way, about, speaking of, transferring souls, I actually had a bit of an idea that maybe, at the end of the game, Rousey would give his soul to Chris, and then Chris gives Rousey the player soul, or well, at least whatever soul Chris is carrying. I could also definitely see it with the vessel for sure. My big idea is that, you know, the fountains. Notice how, okay, we don't have a large sample size. We only have 2 chapters where 2 fountains are closed. My idea is, every time a fountain closes, so far, it looks like Chris can resist us a bit more. So I think the fountain does weaken the heart or soul to some extent, enough so Chris can have a bit more control. So I imagine the game might end sealing the Dark Fountain in Castletown, and that Dark Fountain will be made out of pure darkness, just like Rousey is made of pure darkness. But the problem is, pure darkness fountains would do more damage to the soul. It would literally destroy the soul. So in my head, Rousey would sacrifice himself by giving Chris Rousey's soul, and then Rousey would take Chris' soul, and then Rousey uses the soul that they just got from Chris to seal the fountain, but then die in the process. And then Chris gets to live on. That's something that's been in my mind. I can see the game definitely end like that. It would somewhat tie into the whole dark worlds are fiction and escape. And this would really put like a book on like the escape is over. You need to live in reality now. But it would also give a touching, but this fiction has changed reality. This fiction has allowed Chris to live independently without this soul that controls them. Chris now has a soul that they can actually, a body that they can control. So it'd give you 2 messages of like, hey, the fiction is over, but the fiction still mattered. And that's good. Fiction, it's nice. Believe in the power of fiction. Anyways, I don't know what anagram theory is top of my head, so I'm putting it at the bottom for now until maybe we'll get on it. Maybe. What now? Chris's final boss. Ooh! Now that's kind of juicy. I mean, if we're the vessel, I don't know. I mean, it sounds cool. It would be a hype moment to fight Chris, right? But what happens when we defeat Chris? We just kill Chris or something? Okay, probably not. We don't really kill much of anyone. I think it could, yeah. I think a white soul could exist. I'll put this in probably not but cool, because like I said, it will be a hype moment, but writing-wise, I don't see how we can make Chris be the final boss. Yeah, it's definitely hard for me to imagine. Deltarune is Undertale alternative timeline. I mean, I feel like you can just argue that. I don't think there's anything that really would necessarily disprove that, but they keep saying it's a parallel story. It's something I said like, I think like 100 times by now in this stream. I mean, I guess. I guess. I'll just put it here and probably not, but cool. It just feels so vague, like, anything can be an alternate timeline if you think about it, when you have the same characters like that. Gaster fanboy theory. Yes, I love that. Invested. I definitely have been starting to see Gaster as a royal scientist, a geeky scientist, but also as a bit of a fanboy that's very invested in what the player does, what's happening. Part of it is because I'm in the Chapter 1 menu, Gaster seems so invested and interested in what the player does. For example, if you click delete save file, and then never mind, and do that 10 times, you get a dialogue that says, very interesting. And I perceived it as Gaster really being like, what are they doing? What a fascinating creature. I see Gaster in that as a bit of a fanboy. I can see it. I know this is a little goofy. I know there's a good subsection that strongly believes in this. I'm definitely into this. But I'm aware, if we're not in this section of the fandom, this sounds so silly. No, I see him as a serious character too, but I see this as his goofy side, you know? I see these two things, seriousness, coexisting, with him being a bit of a fanboy. You should see it like a serious character, and then later you discover that the serious character actually is really into, I don't know, playing dolls or something like that. Like, it's still a serious character, but they just have a little quirk, I guess. And I see this as Gaster's quirk. I know what you mean. I've seen Gaster like that as the longest time, but some tiny little things like that with the very interesting. I think Gaster is just so intrigued by us. Intrigued by everything we do. And in a serious way, but also in a bit in the fanboy way. It goes a little bit boat. Gotta say, it's very amazing how, with the very little we know about Gaster, how I'm pretty invested in Gaster. Like, I'm hyped to meet him, I'm hyped to learn more about him, and of course, there's so many theories about Gaster. I definitely saw that too for a long time. I saw some sort of thread about a geeky Gaster, a more fanboyish Gaster, and like what I saw, how everything was compiled, I don't think it just ever got out of my head anymore. I was just like, I see that. Skies forever blue connected to Deltarune. I mean, let me see. No, I don't think so. I know Toby worked on it a bit, but I mean, he already said in that one interview of that, it did reference Homestuck by name, but he also said, like, other works also wouldn't really have a connection, so I'm gonna straight up say this is the hashtag nope right here. These things, he has different projects, but those projects are separate. That said, I really get why people do want connections. It's fun when there's connections, right? Chris's trauma related to death. Likely. Though, so far, we have not really had much of a reaction from Chris. Because the characters do quickly say, "Oh, Chris, why do you look like that? Chris, you're shaken. Chris, we won't believe you're fine if you say it in such a shaky voice." Des has been mentioned a good amount of times, and Chris never seemed to really got too crazy upset. I feel like that would be shown a bit by now. Is there any dialogue where Chris has a bad reaction to talking about Des? I don't think so. I think I will put this at the leader, basically, of the probably not, but cool. I think there's a good chance. I think it would be like a 40% chance in my head. So that's why I'll put like all the way to the front there. Multiple Knights theory. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty juicy one. It really depends also on like what we even define as a knight, because anyone can just open a dark world, but like I guess that shouldn't make you a knight, right? But hell, if we start to say, oh my, if say Rousey gets we get in the dark world and Rousey's like, wow, the knight opened up another one. Like, no, this was Chris. Unless if we say Chris is the knight now, and then I don't know, chapter 4, Caddy opens a dark world and Rousey's like, oh no, the knight opened up another dark world. Then yeah, I guess there's multiple knights. If we use a loose definition like that. If the definition of a knight is just someone that opens a dark world, 100% already confirmed, really. That's probably not what we're talking about, though. For a big part, it is about a person that has talked to Darkness, someone that has talked to a king. So far, the night has been often referred to as an id, sometimes a day, I think. I am gonna say I'm not a Chris Knight believer. I think it means that too. I do think there can definitely be... Oh my god. But it went backwards. Please tell me everything's still there. Oh my god, the heart attack. Biggest heart attack I ever had in my life. Can you imagine if everything was gone? Oh, I did reorganize a few things and they're back. Okay, let's just put this stuff back down here. Where were we? Multiple Knights theory. Yeah. Okay. I think there's a good chance there's more than one knight. I wouldn't give it the biggest chance, though. I wouldn't give it the smallest chance, though, either. It's almost here. We're almost talking about this. Multiple Knights theory, I think that's in the low 50s. Definitely think there's a very good shot, but... yeah, we're almost there. I used to be in there's potential, but with time, I feel like the knight thing is already quite a bit of a thing in the story. And I don't know how... sure, there's going to be a lot more game left, but to fit in multiple knights instead of just one, it's going to be quite the task, I feel. We're almost to your favorite theory. Chris summoned the player. This kind of goes hand in hand with Chris is dead. The big theory for certain people is, and something that I have in my mind, Chris' soul died, but Chris summoned a different soul, and that's why we can control them, because their soul is gone, but their body's still alive, because they got another soul. I'll put this a bit further ahead, but yeah, I do think that there's a good chance that Chris summoned the player. It's a good 50-50. I wouldn't be shocked if that never happened, but if it happened, I'd be like, yeah, fair enough. It'd be very cool if it happens. Here it is. The favorite theory of Zenduri. Secret boss equals different soul mode. Now, this goes back to the politics theory. We don't have a big sample size. So, it looks like that so far. But all in all, it can literally be debunked in Chapter 3. That said, though, in the trailer, we did see some stuff that did look like maybe a different... Actually, no, I think the soul was red still in that... in that part. Regardless, I definitely see the parallels with this, the 7 human souls, 7 chapters, the biblical connections, the religious connections. And even to some extent, Flower King, I think there's only like 6 flowers there technically, but we'll just ignore that. I think that whole backwards thing, I have recognized that too. Oh, wait, right, that's Undyne's. Maybe I should give more credit to Undyne coming in the next chapter. I mean, if Undyne is coming, then that sounds pretty... Yeah! Okay, maybe I should move Undyne up a bit more. Undyne, I'll just move you up. You can kind of already hear, I am a big believer in the different soul modes, and I think I have seen Toby say in an interview, there is a chance I'm pulling this out of nothing, by the way. Warning, but I think I vaguely remember Toby talking about wanting to do more soul modes, that he wished that he had more soul modes in Undertale, because not every soul mode is explored. Some souls don't have a mode attached to it, and I feel like this is the type of thing that Toby likes to keep a lot of things in open to interpretation, and to some extent that you make your own headcanons and not spell everything out for you, but certain things he likes to fill in. To me, this seems like the thing he likes to fill in. So with just the evidence, the things, and also just outside sources, and what I just personally feel, I'm a believer. I am a believer. I will straight up put this in Invested. It's the leader of Invested right now. I think there's so much you can do with that, and every chapter also, what I know with this, every chapter has evolved. Like, chapter 1 is pretty simple. Chapter 2, we add some recruitment mechanics, this, like, the boxing game with Queen, and it seems like from the trailer, we also get some we do some other stuff too. We have a music game. We have some weird stuff with Tana going on. We have some sort of weird cat stuff too. The game keeps evolving, and something that fits very well with the game evolving is also like just all these different soul modes, and it would also make sure that the secret bosses also feel like they're their own boss. I could definitely see. Look, I love how Undertale and Deltarune, how you move the soul and you avoid its bullet hell. I love that. I think that's cool. But I feel like, let's say if all 7 bosses had the exact same soul mode, if it's all the red soul, I feel like it would be a little hard to differentiate the secret bosses from each other. Yeah, exactly. Zendri just said in the chat, too. And the soul modes would make the secret bosses so unique and special. Literally, if they all were just the same, they would lose some of that specialness. Like, Jevil is still perfectly unique and awesome for being in a red soul mode, but if Spamton also was that and the other bosses also were that, it could take away from that. So I highly believe this. I would even say, you know how I have like a hopefully not? This would be like, hopefully, yes please. If this is not a thing, it would be actually a little disappointing. Maybe even a bit more than little. There's some stuff here that I'm like, oh, that would be tragic. I am looking right now. I feel a little mean that there's a singular theory that I put in hopefully not, and it's made by Dorked. Dorked, I'm sorry, but I see Dorked is again here with a theory. Chris made the fountain for sympathetic reasons. Big believer in this. Chris has the red eyes, the zombie walk, and also a blade. A lot of that stuff to me is a big diversion, so you as the player get the first reaction of like, no, you son of a bitch, get away, Chris, get away, you evil demon, get away, Chris. I think that's the intended reaction you get, but I don't think that is a super evil teenage demon that's actually gonna ruin people's lives. Chris is just a teen. Maybe even a kid, I don't know. Regardless, I am a big believer in the sympathetic reasons. I think part of the reason, for example, that Chris turned on the TV is so that things would be less identifiable and... how would I say it? That Chris could keep more of the privacy, because the TV being on makes sure that the Dark Road has a TV team, and that there will be a lot... that there will be less... objects and darkness related to Chris's home and more about whatever's on the TV. If the TV weren't on, the Dark World instead would be more about Chris's home, and that could become a huge invasion of privacy. Yeah, I remember at the end of Chapter 1, so many people were like, oh my god, Chris is gonna do a genocide run. Like, people imagine Chapter 2 would just be Chris just killing Rousey, then Susie, then Torio, and it would just keep going and going. No. Not a believer, so... Yeah, I'm dorked. I know you're in hopefully not right now, alone, but it's here... 100%, 100%. I would be completely shocked if this was not for sympathetic reasons. I would be so mind-blown. Speaking of Chris being an evil, edgy teen, trying to get rid of our soul, Chris is evil. I mean, I think that's the intended effect that they hope we think when certain things are happening the first time about. But that's not what's happening. I'm gonna be very bold. I'll put this in hashtag nope. Right next to Rousey's evil. It's not that I'm against someone betraying us at all. Like, you might think, oh well, you put these people being evil as like something that doesn't happen. Are you like against traitors, against plot twists like that? I'm not, but just the way the story's shaping up, I don't see it. I know there's quite a bit of people who are invested in one of these two being evil. I absolutely do not see it. Not even a little bit, actually. I could still see that you could make one of them evil and the story to go in a fine direction. I don't think it would be story ruining, but it will be very hard to write. I feel like you would need to be a very high-skilled writer, which Toby is, by the way, to make one of these two evil, and for it to actually feel really good. I feel like for the most part, you would kind of box yourself in a corner, and you would lose some of the story. But not necessarily. Not necessarily. I would definitely say I'm not a good enough writer to make one of them evil and the story to be cohesive. Chris is a knight. Personally, this is a hot topic, I know. A lot of people are 50-50 on it. A lot of people are, what? This is basically canon, guys. Some people are just extremely harsh on hashtag nope. Some people are pleading it's not that. I'm not a believer myself. I don't see how it works. It sounds really cool, but how does that work? Zendry, you're saying this exactly right. Chris talked to Darkrunners. No one recognizes Chris. Like, if Chris talked to King, King directly talked to the Knights. Why would King just grab Chris like that and attack Chris the way he does if Chris were the Knights? Now, you could say that there are multiple Knights and a different Knight talk to King. I suppose that could be possible. No, that would be multiple Knight theories. This is Chris's Knight's theory. I really don't see it. I almost would put this actually in hopefully not. Almost. But yeah, exactly. Then Chris wouldn't be the Knight. Chris would be one of the Knights. Would be a Knight. I think just for now, I'll put it in hashtag no, but I think it could maybe work if you're a very skilled rider. Which again, Toby is, but this is hard to write. One thing that I guess could work is when Chris wasn't controlled by the player, then maybe Chris told King to just pretend to want to kill them. I guess that could work. That Chris told King this off screen. If so, Chris had to be very busy, may I say. But even then, the Dark World was open pretty recently, according to Rousey, so I don't know where Chris would have found the time. This would be really difficult to pull off for Chris. I mean, Chris does have a save file after we follow him. When the closet thing happens, when Susie and Chris enter the closet and then they fall down, Chris just got a save file, so I guess maybe they just got done doing that? But how would Chris even get to that Dark World after falling down there and then Rousey not bumping into Chris because Chris would have to get past Rousey? Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay, we almost have a very, we have like 8 night theories in a row after this. True, yeah, that too, like, maybe Chris would say, hey, King, can you pretend to kill me? But the King doesn't even have to talk about the Knight. The King could just pretend like the Knight doesn't exist. You're right. Everything the King said about the Knight is just completely optional. Yeah, this stays in hashtag nope. I do not see how this works. I know sometimes people say something that sounds pretty cool about this, but in the end, the things that are against it are way too strong for me to ever really see it as a possibility. Vessel is secret boss. I'll say this would actually be underwhelming to me. I feel like I am so excited for the Vessel and what the deal with that thing is. If it's just one secret boss, I feel like that would be underwhelming to some extent. I'm expecting a bit more. I mean, I guess it wouldn't just be a secret boss. It would also have some contribution. I guess maybe the Vessel could just play a big role in Chapter 6 and then also be a secret boss, for example. So I guess there's that. The Knight stuff actually really just vexes me, and that probably is because we don't have the evidence for sure. You're right. At this point, you can make a case for just about everyone almost. I actually put this in hopefully not. I actually hope that the vessel does way more. I mean, I guess this doesn't exclude the vessel doing way more. I guess I'll put in... Guess I should put in doubt then, huh? Speaking of the knights, we have all the knight series in the world, where we probably have very little evidence of Gaster's knight. I see Gaster more as an assistant of the knight, if anything. Like, I don't think Gaster would be the knight, but if Gaster does have knight involvement, I could see Gaster guiding the knight. Maybe Gaster gave the knight the first push. Maybe Gaster taught the knight how to create dark worlds, and then the knight just did that on their own volition, or something like that. But I don't think Gaster himself is just running around and creating these dark worlds. I'll put this in doubt.jpg. Definitely. Papyrus' Knight. This is actually... I've seen a video from this from Half-Bred Chaos. Strangely compelling, actually. Strangely compelling. I thought for a bit that maybe Papyrus was the knight, but with some time, I've gone off that train. I know a lot of people really hate it. I think it actually would be kind of cool. But I don't think so. It could... Some people say that it doesn't fit because Papyrus is just a silly guy that tries to make everyone happy. And sometimes they even say stuff that like fantasizing to Papyrus. But Papyrus went with something that's true. Papyrus does want to make everyone happy. I could see that maybe Papyrus creates dark worlds for just a happy reason to some extent. But we also know that the knight has talked to certain darkners, and Papyrus is just not that, how would I say it, cold-blooded? From what we heard, the knight was pretty harsh even at times. Or at least more serious than Papyrus is. So all in all, probably not. Probably not. It's really weird to put this in doubt, but I doubt it. I do doubt it. I really had a good face where I was a strong believer, so like seeing me doing this is just alien to me. My Papyrus Knight phase is over, guys. Alvin is Knight. I really don't think so. You know that's a Homestuck theory where that one Homestuck song is like the end of the game. The same person that's really into that they're also into Alvin Knight theory. So like I'm sorry, I also don't believe in this, man. I feel like Alvin would already have some more importance highlighted by now. I feel like even the mayor has more importance highlighted. But it could be. I mean, for all we know, Alvin is gonna be like in a dark world, and then we spend the whole chapter with Alvin, and then chapter 6 is like, haha, I'm the Knight Alvin. And then it just works. Again, with every Knight theory, as Zendri has said, we just don't have much evidence. Like, so much of this can literally change tomorrow. Yeah, I forget about Alvin too. Not gonna dance around it. I will put Alvin at the bottom of doubt.jpg. I'll not just hashtag nope just yet. Mayor's Knight. That would be cool. I could see it. Somewhat. I wouldn't put much money on it. I mean, I don't think I'd put much money on anyone being the knight. I'll put it in probably not, but cool. Death's Knight. See, what's weird to me is, this sounds cool, but why is Des not going back to her family? What is she doing? Yeah, this really just feels like a stab in the dark. Like, I'm really just throwing some papers and hoping I hit, and I'm scoring in the hoop. Some of this stuff is still like, it's still gonna be quite up for debate, but a lot of the theories here, they're gonna be different. Dark Road in Church, for example, here. I think we already pretty much confirmed that. Des's Night will be really cool. Will be really cool. But I don't see it working too crazy much. I'll put Des's Night as the leader of Delta JPEG. Azrael's Night, I'll actually go and say hopefully not. What? Why? Why? Is there actually an argument for Azrael? I see people say it sometimes, being like, oh, Azrael might be the knight. I never see them say why. This is one of the, one of the more haha, I just made it up kind of things. Rousey's Knight. Hopefully not. This would just be so... I wouldn't be against Rousey having some sort of betrayal or ulterior motives. I'm not against that completely at all. It can even be interesting. That's true. You could say that about a good amount of characters, though. Definitely don't hope that Rousey is the knight. Yeah, no evidence for or against. That is a big thing with the knight stuff here. Roos card is knight. This is actually kind of interesting because Roos card is definitely going to have some great importance. There's a reason that Roos card keeps following us. Roos card seems like they're going to be in this chapter 2 with us because they were in our inventory, right? So what the hell is Roos card thing going to be? Because like Lancer is Susie's best friend. Lancer has ties to Susie's development. So what story purpose does Roos have? Why is Roos following us? So maybe Roos is the knight. There is a bit of a theory that the Shadow Mantle that Sean talks about could allow you to traverse the light and dark worlds. And if that's true, Roos could be the knight. That said, this, just like everything, we don't have much evidence at all, really. I'm only really have conviction that Roos will have some much more importance, but the knight, is that the role? Possible. I mean, this is all just like really just like guessing because like we don't know if the Shadow Mantle has that ability. Roos is in our inventory, that's true. And we never necessarily see them leave the inventory either, besides, like, of course, when we go down in Cyber World, we see Roos leave it, but then the Dark World's already created. I mean, I guess Roos could have created Cyber World during the night. Probably not, but cool. It's not looking likely. Put Chris Fez a bit lower now. Yeah, probably not. There is a chance. It's probably not entirely impossible, but it would be kind of cool. It could be done. I won't know. I said Roos card is important. There is a theory part here, a little tier that says literally that. But I kind of want to say I'm always tempted to put that in not a theory because this is more... This doesn't say anything. Like, this is like saying Rousey is important. Like, yes. Yes, yes, of course. Chris is important. Susie is important. Yeah, they're the main characters. Ooh. Kara butterfly effect. Let me look at what that's again. What are you, Kara butterfly effect? And... oh shit. I'm not seeing anything. I remember hearing about this theory very long ago. I feel like this is a chapter 1 theory, actually. I don't think it came out during chapter 2, or maybe at the very start of chapter 2. I think it has something to do that this might be a butterfly effect of Kara not existing in this world. No, I'm not seeing any results online. That's weird. Okay, I guess we put this at the bottom. I have no idea what this is, so we'll revisit this bottom stuff at the end of the stream. Undertale Kara is possessing Chris. I don't think so. I think Kara would have done different things in the time that Kara is possessing the body. I think this is straight up hashtag nope. Though I imagine that you are like a verified Kara fan, so if you have a counter argument, I'm willing to hear it. Player is Angel. Highly likely. We had a lot of things in the lower echelon right now, in the lower list. Player is Angel. Good chance. Absolutely good chance. I would say... leader if there's potential. I've actually been much more Noelle as the Angel person. But... in a video I recently made, which I'm actually not... I'm not too happy with how the video came out, but whatever, it's still up. I actually made the player more the Angel in that one, funnily enough. I think it's so much more likely that if there is an Undertale Deltarune connection, it's more likely that Deltarune came first and then Undertale. Not the other way around. I know some people have the Angel as someone besides Noelle or the player, but it's definitely one of those in my head. Narrator Kara in Deltarune. Interesting. I actually don't think so, but I honestly don't have much of a clue on what the hell's going on with the narrator in this game. I doubt it. I'm not gonna completely shut it down though. I'll put it in, yeah, here somewhere in the middle. Higher middle of doubts. Kara is Azriel's college roommate. College misspelled, oopsie daisy. A good chance, good chance. I mean, that's the type of stuff I would do if I were a writer for this. That's just definitely 50-50 material right there. Frisk with Azriel, 50-50. I think there's a good, decent chance enough that we might, near the end of the game, when maybe Azriel comes home, Azriel takes like a picture home, and then some of the humans would be on there as college roommates or college students or who knows what, being like, hey guys, these are my friends in college, look at them. Yeah, this is just basically just making something out of nothing. I mean, there's no evidence for or against it. This is just more like, do you vibe with this? Do you feel like this could happen in the story? I'm like, yeah, I could see it. Oh, this is an interesting theory. This is not a very well-known theory, I think. Submarine Castle Town. Basically, it's, you know how onion sun's in the water? The theory basically is that if you go really, really, really far down, you essentially just get into Castle Town. Just really deep into the water. Because obviously, a lot of them Dark World stuff just have some water connections. So that is the big idea with Submarine Castle Town. It's a pretty cool video. I think there's a bit more with that, but forgot the rest of that video. It definitely would be nice. I would love to see Frisk and Kara again. I think it's easily possible. I mean, with stuff that Onionson says, there's clearly something going on with inside that water. And this is one of the more rational explanations I've heard. I'll put it in 50-50. I think the idea is that you basically siphon it from all the way down there like oil in a way. Something like that. And with your determination, you can like just access it. Now I'm debating in my head. I'll put a little lower. Grand Found Mate Rousey special. 100%. 100%. This kind of actually ties into it more. There is, in real life, the further you go down water, the more your colors change. And your colors kind of also change in a way that, especially like with the trailer, they change in a way that it would also change if you went really far underwater. So that's also why people think this. You're right though that the whole pen string to swords is quite an indicator of alternate dimensions. I'll put Grand Final Mate Rousey special in. 100% believe this. No, yeah, that's true. I suppose that's kind of why it's like Submarine Town. Because I don't think they necessarily talk about other Dark Worlds and explanations for that, which I guess in a way that would make this kind of weak, huh? This one Dark World in Castle Town is underwater, super far underwater, but the other ones aren't. Oh god. The more we talk about this, the more this is slipping. It was here, then it went here. We're going here now. we're seeking. Pun intended, by the way. The submarine is gonna implode if it keeps going like this. But Pyrus is Eggman! Goddamn Eggman from Sonic! I know what it means. It's the you know, the man behind the tree. No. I don't think so. I mean, okay, I know there's like a shirt where Papyrus is behind the tree. And I know in Papyrus' date, Papyrus is an egg there. But I don't... Probably not. Maybe. Doubt front leader, I guess. I'll note, I probably need to start getting a bit faster at me ranking all this stuff because I'm getting pretty tired. I've only started streaming yesterday again. I used to stream all the time. That's what I think too. Like, who else is it but Gaster? Like, Papyrus, that shirt thingy sure is like a bit of a bone, so that it might be Papyrus, but it just feels so random that it's Papyrus. Like, Papyrus is really just in the dark road, out of bounds, just chilling behind a tree. Papyrus is so talkative. Are you telling me Papyrus wouldn't make a chit-chat with Chris? Papyrus would love to talk to Chris. I'm sure. Unless, if Papyrus and Gaster are the same person. I'm making a joke. I'm kind of scared this is gonna somehow age, and then it turns out they are, and this will be clipped one day, and we're like, oh my god, I guessed it. Undertale Underground is a dark world. No. No, I don't think so. No. Why would it be? Why would it be that? Nope. I don't see why it would be that. Monsters bleed in Deltarune. I know there's a scrapped, there's a Susie sprite where she's bleeding, but it's not used. So you could say, yes, it's evidence being used, that monsters bleed, because they made a sprite for it, but it could also be evidence like, oh, actually they don't bleed, let's just never use it. So who knows? Who knows if they bleed? This is peak 50-50 right here. We don't know. Foreshadows. Foreshadows. This is a mouthful. Foreshadows. Foreshadow. All I really remember is the whole, with the bleeding stuff, all I remember is that scrapped Susie sprite, but, I mean, I don't know how much we should... I think there's been more, but that's the only part I remember, and I don't really take scrapped content too hard into consideration. Alrighty, I'll take your word for it. I get the impression that you also are a Deltarune obsessed person like me. I know there were several references of Chris bleeding. Oh wait, I remember some stuff. Oh crap! No, you're right. Susie has like several blood connections. Like there are like around 6 pieces of dialogue through the game where Susie talks about blood and bleeding. And it only is really with Susie, notably. No other character really has this blood thing, so it feels like it is supposed to be some sort of team with Susie. Now when I think about it like that, why would it be mentioned like all those times if they don't bleed? I'll bump it up. There's potential. Bottom at there's potential. So many dialogues just suddenly like open up again at my head, thinking about this seriously. This foreshadow team thing is really interesting. Basically, you know, in chapter 2 when you were doing puzzles and you were there with Birdly, Susie, and Lancer, everything talked about something that was coming up or something that has already happened, but there's one part where there are 4 shadows that have nothing to do with anything. There's like a house, there's a duck, there's something else. And all things considered, it's just out of place since all those other things just happen or already happened. So the idea is that these 4 shadows are hinting at something that's going to come up in the future. I completely believe this. I don't think Toby was like, let's just put some random shapes in here for the lulz, when all the other things were symbolic. No, this stuff is symbolic too in my head. Yeah. We're Undertale Deltarune lovers. Tomorrow's gonna be amazing. But yeah, the Shadows are pretty cool theory. You should look it up. It's by put it in chat. I reference this guy all the time. They are so cool. Half rat. Misspelled the name in a very bad way. Half-Bred Chaos. You should like look through that channel. They have some good stuff, and then you see that Four Shadows theory. That said, it doesn't really go to much of anywhere because the shadows are just very vague. Some of them. Again, I don't know what they all were. I just remember that one was a house, one was a blue bird. Good chance, good chance. Des is character in the code. Oh, interesting, interesting. Good chance. Again? I would say... there's potential. I was gonna say invest it. In reality, I'm not that confident in any of that, so I'll just go with there's potential. This is probably going to get a lot more clear with the whole new chapters coming up. This is one of these things where if it gets 2 more things from this character in the code, we're really getting somewhere then. I mean, not like there are many other candidates of who that character could be, but it could be a brand new character, it could be Des. We'll see, we'll see. Not much to say because there's not much to prove or disprove. There's a character in the code, if anyone doesn't know, and they're talking, they're like, please let me go. I don't think they say that necessarily, but yeah, they're upset. Here is a very interesting theory. This theory has about 200 pages. You heard that right, 200 pages, and no, the letters aren't just stupidly big. It's really 200 pages. I didn't read all of this, by the way. That would be a lot of reading. But to summarize, basically, the actor theory is how I guess I refer to it as. It's basically the vessel, actor, is something that wants to entertain the player. The player exists in this world to have fun, and the vessel will make sure the player will have its fun. The vessel will create dark worlds just for the player to seal it. A dark world the player can explore, have fun with it, and then they can quote-unquote close the game, aka seal the fountain, and then just quit for the day, and then come back and play again. So in this theory, actor, aka the vessel, would basically be something that is some sort of entity that wants to worship the player by giving the player entertainment over and over to keep you engaged. I would say that's the long and short of that theory. I think it's pretty damn good. It's very interesting. It's well written. I mean, if you're writing 200 pages, you do hope that you actually get something. It's good. It's really good. I would even say I'm invested in this. I think there's an actual proper chance that the vessel does have something like that. I could see that the vessel would fill its emptiness in with by trying to endlessly please us. That the vessel in a way has like no identity, and then it just tries to create an identity, and that identity would just be endlessly worshipping us. Azrael is Angel. Probably not. Probably not. I don't think so. I don't see why he would be. I mean, yes, he's mysterious and who knows of it. Probably not. Universal Mother Theory by Cookie. What the hell is that? I'll continue to the next one. If someone knows the universal mother theory is, please let me know. Every man is knight. Probably not, but I am curious what every man is all about. But every man is one of those things where I wouldn't be surprised if you don't get much of an answer. Time loop theory is pretty cool. Time loop is definitely cool. It's... how would I say it? Yes! Oh goodness. I do wish I did this a little earlier. Like, in reality, I should have done this, like, last week, but I was a little lazy, I guess. I'll be honest with you. This is why I do want to do the stream. I want this to be, like, a capture of, like, a moment in time of, like, a different era in this fandom, you know? Like, someone one day could just... it could be 5 years later, and someone could look at the stream, and they're like, oh, so that's what they were thinking when Chapter 2 was out without... and they were waiting on Chapter 3 and 4. So much of this can absolutely just go straight in the trash. Like, literally tomorrow, so much can just go right into hashtag nope. It's magnificent. Time loop theory is so cool, I feel like it deserves 50-50, but in reality, I don't believe in it that much. The biggest evidence for time loop theory is the fact that Chris has save files, and maybe Chris is trying something over and over again. And, you know, that save file thing is pretty good evidence. But, I don't know. Now I'll put it at the bottom of 50-50. Okay, this will be... a nuke is gonna hit this chart, and a complete tactical nuke is gonna hit this. Shadow Crystal Show time loop? Don't think so. Roaring has occurred before? Is there evidence for that? I don't recall evidence for that. Probably not. Would be interesting though. No, I don't think it has. Truthfully speaking. Oblivion Theory. I think this connects with the active theory to some extent, even though it's very directly. I think this also has like a 200-page document. It might even have a 500-page document. Oblivion Theory is insane, and I'm not sure if I even completely get it. I think the long and short of Oblivion Theory is, to some extent, that everything is pointless, I think. I wish I had a too long didn't read version of Oblivion Theory right about now. You know what? Let's see if we can Google that. Why not? Oblivion Theory. Deltarune. Yeah, Oblivion Theory is made by 1D Doodles. 291 pages. Yeah, I was right with the 200 pages. To some extent, yeah. Oh yes, there's a summary here. Okay, summary. The Knight is not trying to bring the roaring, they are your own character / the vessel. The Knight is a reincarnation of the same concept Car represented in Undertale. The Knight is making dark words specifically for the player to see you. Everything related to darkness in Deltarune is part of Gaster's experiment. The experiment is about creating the experience of a game for a person playing. The game would likely end with the character finding a way to close the connection Gaster open with you. That's a too long didn't read. So it's basically the actor thing again. So it's kind of the same thing twice. Tier list maker, what were you doing? They were sleeping. Definitely, yeah. I can shake your hand with hoping for more endings. Like, I guess things aren't inherently pointless if there's only one ending, but... I guess it's kind of different because the actor is just referring to the vessel, and Oblivion also refers to sealing the Gaster connection and all that, and that Gaster did open the connection, and then you close it, and then the player just... I'll put it a little down. I do think the whole the whole actor thing with the vessel... I see your point, I see your point. Ooh, this is difficult. By the way, making this makes me feel like such a hater because I hardly have anything here at like in these final three and 100% invested or there's potential. I feel like such a hater. I feel like a Debbie Downer. But it's not that. There's plenty of things that I rated pretty low, but I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. T. Terry, brother. What? That's basically canon to me. If we're gonna question T. Terry, I feel like we don't know anything about this game. Gaster is What? Yeah, that's fair. It just because you like rated low doesn't mean you like hate it. It's not like you're like, oh, I hope this person gets a pipe bomb in their mailbox. It just means there's a little evidence. For sure. I mean, Gaster's secret boss, that would be kind of weird. I don't think I would hope for that. I mean, I would hope that Gaster would be something that, like, we always see, and not something that we, like, have to, like, find to, like, see him face-to-face. Like, and I'm talking about face-to-face. Like, I'm fine if they're, like, secret Easter eggs about the Gaster, but, like, face-to-face, a battle, confrontation, I feel like that should be, just always happen. If Gaster is in the game. Oh, tomorrow is gonna be a brand new day. Tomorrow is gonna be so... To this day, every now and then, people make a new theory. For 3 years or so... How long has it been? Like, 3.5 years or so. People have been making new theories, like, every month. The amount of new theories that will spawn after we finish the game... The discussions are gonna just open up like a floodgate. I'm also gonna be pretty happy about how much new fan art we'll get. I do miss some fan art for some of the more niche characters. I will be eating so good once this game gets out. It feels so surreal it's coming out tomorrow. Like, we've been waiting for so long, it just felt like a thing that would never come in a way, almost. Literally. You could even argue maybe a bit more than double if, Toby is right, and he said that Chapter 3 and 4 will be slightly longer than Chapter 1 and 2. We did so much with Chapter 1 and 2, and it's not even that crazy much. And if either Chapter 3 or 4 have a weird route, yeah, just think about that. Then it's even more. I mean, yeah, Chapter 2 is a weird route. If both of them have a weird route, we get so much. If it was so fake. Sean is secret boss. This is actually something I can't believe. Some stuff, it feels like we might be fighting Sean. I'll put that in, like... probably more likely than this. Yeah, here. Somewhere in the 50-50s. About, like, the whole, like, we have few data points. Like, we get many more data points. Like, with secret bosses, we have more data points. We get double the data points. With these shadow crystals, we get more data points about what they do, because people will try to make so many theories to these shadow crystals, but we literally only have 2 and very limited interactions with them. Second intro voice is Kara. Probably not. Why would it be? Not trying to be a hater, but I think that's just the hashtag nope. I mean, I think they do talk a bit formal, I guess, the second voice. Maybe I should just put in Dado JPEG. I just don't really see it. It feels kind of random in my head. Gaster drove Jevil mad. To me, this actually... I think... Was there a line that the Knight also talked to Jevil? I don't think so. I think that the Knight talked to plenty of people, but not necessarily Jevil. But... with Spamton, that Spamton's phone was hearing a whole bunch of garbage noise. And Gaster is just a whole bunch of garbage noise. And when you start... and when you try to call yourself in the dark world, you just hear a whole bunch of garbage noise, and it's just Gaster sounds. Gaster probably did drive them mad. Probably. Jevil to there's potential. Spamton to there's potential. I guess technically I could lower Jevil because we know more about what happened with Spamton. Yeah. If he was pretty damn confirmed. The garbage noise was pretty damn conclusive, but... It's technically not much, the whole nothing but garbage noise, and then that's, and Addison heard garbage noise from Spamton's phone. But I suppose I'm trying to be a little open. Like, technically that's one very big, strong piece of evidence, but it is pretty much one piece of evidence at the end of the day. Vessel drove Jevil mad. Why? I guess that's the other narrative. Yeah, I do remember that some people do believe that. I don't... No, not to be a hater, but... The hashtag nope expands. What the hell is that Vessel doing, man? I can't wait for tomorrow for it to be revealed that the Vessel actually did drive them mad. And then this looks so stupid on us. Gaster is central to the plot. I would almost put this in basically canon. I'm not gonna be that arrogant, even though... You best believe I believe that. Gaster made Deltarune. It sure sounds like that from the stuff in Undertale and also what was on the Deltarune website. Because Gaster also had some messages on the Deltarune website before the game was ever announced. And the whole Gaster doing, logging on Twitter. That said, maybe it's more that Gaster created Dark Roads than Deltarune completely. But Gaster is in the save files, which is very interesting. It's probably Gaster. It's probably Gaster. I'll just say it. Yeah, that's why I'm hesitant with, if it says Dark Road, I'll probably put in 100% believe this. The save file thing makes me put it very high, though. Like, it really seems like gaster speech in the save files when you're trying to copy, delete, whatever you're trying to do with your save file. No, screw it. There's potential, sorry. Invested stays pretty empty, surprisingly. Thing is, like, there's potential is basically like 60-70%, like, in my head. Invested is really like 80, 90. 100% is 100%, of course, or 99, 98. Something like that. You've got... No. Don't. I'm gonna ignore your message. I'm sorry. Anyways. Darkwood in Church. Dare I say, basically canon. I feel pretty confident in that. Darkwood in Bunker. I completely believe this. I would be shocked if there were no Dark Words at all there. Darkwood in Ice-E Pizzas. I have been underestimating Ice-E. I know that. I need to look more into my Ice-E lore. I've been sleeping on the Ice-E lore. First, Flower Shop. I feel like the Flower Shop, honestly, I think Flower King is a diversion. It really looks like prime Darkwood material. I think it's bait. I actually doubt it. But it will be cool enough. I wouldn't hate it. Yeah, not a Flower Shop believer. I see. I'm honestly not qualified to rate Ice-E. The stuff I read about Ice-E made sense from what I remember too, but I forgot it. And the other stuff I never got around to reading. So I'm really not qualified to rate this. I'll just be honest about my bias, but based on my feeling, my gut feeling, and just how I remember the things I read, I am gonna lean to doubt hesitantly. But I won't put much merit into this. Like, I just don't know. I'm glad that I'm not the only one that's a little forgetful about the Ice-E stuff. Hell, I mean, the next chapter's tomorrow, so I'll get more invested in my Ice-E lore after that. Noelle is the angel. See, there we go. That. Honestly, I put player is angel as there's potential. Let me upgrade that. Oh, let's do it like this. Bone in invested. I'm very sure it's one of these two, maybe even both. There are like two angel wings, so maybe like one angel wing is the player, one angel wing is Noelle. Possible enough. Darkwood in Hospital. I don't think so. No, probably not. I would say close to a cemetery than a hospital, in my head. Darkwood in Noelle's house. I'm a believer. I think there's good potential there. High chance. We haven't seen it yet. I think there can be so much that just reflect in Noelle's teams. I think there can be so much to learn about Mayor Holiday, about Rudy, about Des. I would say I'm invested in that. Good chance. I used to believe in the Dark World in the hospital for a while, but in my head, I feel like Rudy is gonna die, and there will be like a Dark World then in the cemetery. It will be such an interesting team. It will be fun. It's kind of a shame that there are only like 7 chapters almost, and that likely turns into 7 Dark Worlds, because there's so many Dark Worlds I would love to see. The device theory. I'll be honest, seeing that theory have like 5 hours or something like that, I never got patient enough to watch it. I don't know what device theory is all about. Oh no. Oh no. I'll be honest with you. Sendri, you saying the Noel's house is too similar to the Dreamer house? I see your argument, and it's actually really effective. Oh no. That's actually... Why did you say that? No! Managed to shatter so much conviction in my Noel's house theory. Essentially, like, we see so many church imagery in chapter 4. There are 2 parts where we see church imagery in chapter 4, so it really is looking like a church chapter. I put Dark World in church as basically confirmed. Oh god, I'm lowering it at Dark World in the Wells house. Look what you've done! I mean, maybe it doesn't have to be different from the Dreamer's house, because the TV is on in the Dreamer's house. I can go back and forth for this forever. Sorry, device theory. Yeah, I listen to arguments. I can be persuaded. What can I say? Where is... Trying to find something here. Dark World Hospital. Oh my, I put it really low. Hard to say, hard to say. Like, yes, it's in the Dreamer house, but it looks like it will be pretty TV-ish focused. I got a bump in the hospital a bit more now after considering that perspective, not gonna lie. You go up now. You go down, and then you go up. There we go. Rearranged it. Yeah, if it's the whole chapter, then Noel's house still has a lot of potential to have a Dark World in it. If not, then there's actually honestly no way that it's gonna be in Noel's house. Yeah, no, that's very fair, very fair. Freedom Motive is Gaster's team. I don't know, man. I watched this video, I was like, yeah, that's interesting, but I didn't think much else. I wasn't like, oh my god, he's so right, or what is he talking about? It's a 50-50 in my head. Okay, maybe this also needs to drop a bit even more. Oh my god, my whole head needs to like rearrange things now. How did I never think of that? And guess what? Noel is a traitor by Arroyo Ruby. Who's that handsome person? Who made such a cool theory like that? This, I'm gonna be honest. This is my proudest achievement that I got on this list. One of my theories. I'll say this though, I hate how they worded it. I would not word it like this at all. If I were to word this, I would say, Noelle starts the roaring. I wouldn't say she's a traitor. So this can give a bit of maybe a wrong impression of what I tried to convey, but I see why they wrote it like that, because the video I made was like, there's a hidden traitor! So I'll take the responsibility at the end of the day. Obviously, this is basically confirmed. It's basically... Okay, no, I really think she's gonna start the roaring. I mean, why would I make the video otherwise? I made the video, man! Why would I make it if I didn't believe it? Okay. I did make chapter 3 to 7 predictions, and there are stuffs I don't believe there at all. But I did put like a slide, I put like text on the screen on like how much I believe it in that video. But this is a separate video. I believe this. I think... I love someone that gives me an ego boost. There we go. We have the truth here. Give it a nice color. There we go, there we go. Beautiful, magnificent. I'm so happy I'm on here. I'm a little surprised that my Noelle starts the roaring is on here, and not my Chris has a secret inventory theory is on here. I feel like my roaring thing is not as original. Like, other people also think Noelle's gonna start the roaring, but I'm like the first person who's basically was like, hey, does Chris have like a secret inventory? So I'm surprised that theory isn't on here. That theory is way more original. Basically, my theory is that I think that Chris might just have... I mean, it's very transparent for what I said. Might just have an alternative theory that we don't have access to, that he put stuff elsewhere. But it could just be plot convenience. Who knows? There are a few cutscenes that leads to the fact that Chris has stuff that we don't see in their inventory. So maybe. Third entity theory. I must admit, I'm a little ashamed that I forgot this theory. Third entity theory. I'm just looking... I often look things up now, in case a thumbnail or something like that triggers my memory. Sometimes that's all I need. It's kind of weird. The third entity theory, I see a result that's from 2 weeks ago, but this tier list was made about like 9 months ago. Did a time traveler make this? Alrighty, found the third entity theory. Thank you for coming here. It was very fun. I'll definitely miss your presence on the stream. And have a good time playing Deltarune tomorrow. If you want, you can join the Discord, and then you can stay in the loop. It's in the description. And regardless of what you do, see you later, alligator, and have a good night. I'm thankfully about to finish myself. I'm so tired of this. Ooh, okay. Third entity theory, very simple. It's a third extra thing that's controlling Chris that rips out the soul. Doubt. Yeah. Sorry. Will theory? What the hell is will theory? More stuff I need to look up. Will theory. Oh wait, I think I know what it is. I think it's about... free will? I don't know, actually. Time to make an extra tier list, otherwise I'll be here forever. Add tier below. What? Don't know. There we go. The depths. Yeah, for sure. The depths. That's a theory about whatchamacallit. The depths is. You can tell my brain is fried from me streaming so long. It's a theory about how it's basically darker than dark, essentially. It's a dark world, almost in a dark world. It's an extra layer to dark worlds. Good chance, good chance. Shadow Crystal is shattered dreams of a liner. Without more details. Now I think about it, depends on how you interpret this. If you mean like, when Chris looks at themselves, they see nothing. If Chris looks at Susie, they see Susie looking angry. If the thing you look at is that liner without the dream, I guess that could work. Probably not, but cool enough. Letter is Gaster. Nope. Letter is Chapter 3 character. Doubt. Okay, now we're flying through them. Naked Rousey theory. That's the theory where that Rousey takes a piece of clothing off every episode. So far, it's true. Even in Chapter 3, I don't think it's gonna do that for the whole game. It's not. There's not even like enough chapters to do that in. So it's a funny theory, but it's a hashtag nope. Gaster's Angel. Doubt. Ghastly tier. We're going through the very... We only have the dumb theories left at the end or something, huh? That's... No. What do you mean? Asgore had a hand to Death's disappearance. Very confident that, like... There is something... Wait. I did ask before, like, does Chris have a bad reaction to Death? If we consider this to be true, then I suppose so. I'm invested in it. I think there was a real good shot that there's something going on with that. And if there's something enough that Toriel wants to divorce Asgore, and something like child neglect or getting people into trouble like that, I can see what's up with that. I can see that Toriel would just be done with it. Alrighty, I see what the universal mother theory is. It's basically that Queen is everyone's mother. 2, 2, 2, 4. Every Lightner, to be more specific. That's cool, that's cool. I'll put it at the bottom of 50-50. I definitely see it. Queen is really motherly, even if she can be a little bit sort of mean in a way, but she's trying to make people happy in her own weird way. Oh my god. Oh my... Jaru, come on, man. Yeah, I looked into this theory. I'm sorry, Jaru, but... I will note, as people are hating on Jaru for this, like some other theories, I'm not a believer at all, but I really admire the creativity in Jaru. And I think that Jaru will even get some stuff right, because some of the stuff, you really need a special mind to even consider it. So, let's see, that's Dark Clock Theory. I actually not look into that theory from Jaru. Can I get a too long didn't read? I'll look it up real quick fast. Dark Clock theory. Actually surprised how many too long didn't reads these theories get. Like, I actually just look it up and I actually get a too long didn't read. It's wonderful. I don't know it. I don't see too long didn't read. Azrael / Rousey sings Don't Forget. I don't think that's actually crazy. I looked into a video about that from Half-Bred Chaos, and yeah, it looks pretty good to me. This might be confirmed next chapter because Rousey's singing, but Toby did say something about that you probably won't read it, so you probably won't hear actual singing of a human being. Rousey's Azrael, no, he's not. That's not true. Mike's chapter 2 antagonist, that's not true. It's Tenna. Chris is one of the 6 humans. Doubts? It could maybe be kind of cool. I would cry my eyes out. I have no idea what Rousey theory is. I'm sorry. Rudy will die? Oh, you know I'm into that. You know that I am completely all bets on Rudy. That's not 100% though, but I would be pretty surprised. I wouldn't be completely like, what? It makes no sense. Tenna is chapter 2. Yes, that's true. Correct. You said something true. Shadow Crystal show a world without Chris. Maybe. It might just do that. I mean, Chris looking at themselves and seeing nothing could signify that. But I kinda doubt it. Oh my god, it's Sense! He's from Steven Universe. Left Ness alone for now. We're near the end. Now let's see. Gaster's Eggman! Eggman from Sonic! Eggman! Most likely, I don't see who else it would be. Again, this goes right into Invested. Man, this is getting cluttered. Shadow Crystal shows some true nature? How would it do that when we don't see Chris? What do you mean? You mean Chris is dead? I guess that's what it could be. Man, Susie would hate us though. No way, Jose. That's a nope. Hashtag nope. Shadow Crystal is Gaster fragments. Now that could be kinda cool. I'm not sure how that would work with certain elements already established, but it sure would be cool. Oh no, I swear Woody theory. We're actually gonna discuss that? Are you joking? Kidding me? What the devils is going on, man? I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm not gonna entertain it much longer. I'm so tired, guys. I'm so tired, but I'm almost done with the home stretch here. Let's put device theory. Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. Anything else we don't know? Technically, I don't know what Gaster versus Kara is, but I can guess what it's about. Chapter 3, Secret Boss, Flower Teamed. Maybe. There's a chance there. Honestly. I think it's Mike, though. I think it's Mike. Or the Friend Cat. One of those. I think it's Friend Cat. I'll actually move it down. Probably not. Birdley is falling down in weird roots. I think so. I think Birdley's fallen down. Birdley is not alive. Not completely dead yet, but fallen down. Just to be specific. Probably not. But I actually haven't seen it, so I'll just put in not seen. Choice between Rousey and Newell. I can kind of see there's a very natural conflict between those two because Rousey has that devil symbolism, Noel the Angel. I mean, 1 + 1 = 2, right? They are their natural enemies. Sooner or later, they might be pit against each other like that. Now, I will note, it says choice here. This might be more of an illusion of choice. It might not necessarily actually change the ending, change this, change that. Angel's Hell. Oh no, I remembered some stuff about that. What was that about again? I can't believe how many I forgot. Angel's Hell. Look it up. Not finding anything. Damnations. Sorry. I would say... I would just be safe and say I don't know which... Woody Terry? You got a friend in me. This has been weirdly compelling. But I don't think it's true. I know some people are not going to be happy to hear this. But Woody, and something that's close to Woody, probably will not be in Deltarune. So, I'll just be bold and say hashtag nope. Connection theory. What? Let's look. One attempt to Google. Spooky dude. Spooky dude. Let's see. I'm not sure if I want an AI to summarize me that. Wait, didn't I watch this video? I watched Spooky Dude. I love Spooky Dudes. Surely I watched that video. Did I miss it? Connection. I actually didn't watch it. Are you joking? I'm scrolling to Spooky Dude's channel. I watched like every video besides Are You Joking? That's unbelievable. It's literally on the list and then it's the one tier I didn't watch for this. Unbelievable. I'm sorry, Spooky Dudes. I literally watch your videos, and I love them, but I don't know this one. This is actually one I don't know. What do you mean it's D&D? It's just Dark World. I mean, it's representative of it, sure, but what do you mean? Dark World's parallel Undertale area. Of course it does. Of course it does. A lot of things parallel. It's a parallel story. Rose is... What do you mean? No, he's not. He's not. Vessel's Night. Investing. I'm investing in here. There's a good chance. Good chance indeed. Especially with the actor theory. I could see that Vessel just being that. Darkness are objects brought to life. That's true. Not even a theory, that's just true. Good job. What's the car butterfly effect? Can we look that up? Theory. Come on, let's do some education over yonder. Okay, yeah, I was correct about a theory I had, what it was mean. This theory is, if car doesn't exist, then you get Deltarune. I'll give that a nice, a solid... I don't think so. Deltarune Azure made Undertale on his PC. I mean, looks like it. But it's probably more a reference, so... 50-50, I guess? Like, this is more probably like a hint at Easter egg, but it's not... I doubt it will be something that will ever be completely set and spelled out, being like, oh, Azure has a game on his computer. It's called Undertale. I doubt we'll ever get that. Deltarune is a prequel to Undertale. I am investing. I'm investing. But the only real stuff here, it goes with the whole Undertale sans from Deltarune. I think that's a real connection. Despite that, I think this is all a little, how would I say it, different, right? Like, it's not like Toriel and the other stuff that happens here just contributes. Only like Sans and Papyrus' story carry over to Undertale in my head. Deltarune is an alternative universe of Undertale. I mean, you could say that, I guess. I mean, what do I say to this? I mean, anything can be an alternate universe of Undertale if it's like the same characters, right? What do I say to that? I don't know what I say to that. I'm mostly been using this as, I don't know what these theories are, but I don't know what to say to this, so I'll put it there, I guess. Deltarune is Gaster's Undertale fanfiction. I don't know this theory, but if it's written like it says it is, no, that's not true. Deltarune is a genocide sequel. Like from Undertale? No, if anything happened, if there is a connection between those two universes, Deltarune came first. I'm very sure of that. Papyrus is... What? No. No, what are we doing? What do you mean? Papyrus is not an incel. An asocial incel? Is that what you're trying to say? Why are you saying that? Gaster, IC theory, I don't know. Rousey is Chris's ideal self. We're almost at the end. We did it. There's definitely some merit to this. I think that Rousey is the horns, and I think the emotions Chris put into those horns could, to some part, contribute to what Rousey ended up being. So I'll give that a solid 50-50. Gaster split universes in Undertale and Deltarune. I think this is not totally insane. I think many people would be like, what? Come on, man. But Gaster was talking about dark yet darker. In Undertale, Sans and Papyrus seem to have some sort of Deltarune connection. It's possible enough. Okay, maybe Undertale did come first. I'll put this actually in probably not, but cool. It would be cool. I would be invested. I would love that in some extent. I think that would be so creative, and it could really be properly done. But probably not. And that's it. That's fucking it, man. Look at this. Look at this. I did it. I did it. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So this is what I'm thinking. So much of this can get completely put in the trash with Spamton. Spamton will eat it up. He's a good boy like that. He just you hold the Terry in front of him and he's like, no. He eats it. Yummy. All in all though, I'm pretty happy with this. Sorry again for putting you in here, dorked, and hopefully not. I want to note, the nope stuff is things I'm like, no, that's not true at all. Hopefully not. Like, it has enough merit where I'm like, it's possible enough. It's not like completely debunked. Then I'm like, yeah, and I just hope it's not true. And hashtag nope, I'm just like, nah, that's not true. Fact check wrong. Ah, this was fun, but very exhausting. Well, everyone, I'm excited to see you tomorrow as I play Deltarune. Have a good day, everyone.